a radio playing in the kitchen, a vinyl slowly spinning in the background, someone tapping their foot without realizing it. It wasn't just music, it was names, faces, styles. They were people who, with just one song, sparked something that no one else knew how to extinguish. That's why, in this video, you're gonna see 10 rock and roll legends from the 50s who changed the history of music forever. Artists and bands who didn't need lights, effects, or millions of followers. Just a microphone, a guitar, and a sound so fresh, it shook the entire world. Stay until the end, because more than one of these names is going to blow your mind, and you'll understand why everything that came after started right there. Chuck Berry defined what we now understand as rock and roll. His talent for blending youth-focused lyrics with unforgettable guitar riffs made him a defining figure of the genre. His first major hit, Maybelline, released in 1955, proved that rock could have rhythm, storytelling, and unmatched energy. His style wasn't just catchy, it was carefully structured. He placed the guitar front and center, giving it a distinct identity in every song. Riffs from Roll Over Beethoven and Johnny B. Good laid the foundation for the sound of classic rock. His stage presence and signature moves also set him apart. Berry wasn't just a performer, he was the composer behind every one of his hits. In the 50s, he wrote songs that became generational anthems. With direct storytelling about cars, school, and teenage love, he connected with an audience searching for something real. He gave rock and roll its narrative voice and its attitude. Link Wray turned the electric guitar into an instrument of raw power. In 1958, he released Rumble, an instrumental so dark and aggressive that it was banned from multiple radio stations. Even without lyrics, it delivered a completely new kind of attitude. He was among the first to use distortion and feedback as core elements of his sound, not as flaws, but as creative weapons. His strumming technique and control over vibrato built a tense, high-energy atmosphere that would go on to influence generations of hard rock guitarists. He also introduced the power chord, a fundamental piece of hard rock and punk. Ray stayed away from the commercial spotlight, but his impact ran deep. Many artists credit him with showing that a guitar could speak for itself. Link Wray didn't follow the rule. She rewrote them with 6 strings. Duane Eddy earned the nickname the King of Twang. For a reason, his guitar had a sound that stuck with you. In the late 50s, tracks like Rebel Rouser and Movin' and Groovin' put him on the map with a bold, instantly recognizable instrumental style. His technique relied on a unique use of echo and reverb, paired with solid body guitars and specially tuned amps. The result was a cinematic, dramatic sound, something rare for that time. With it, he carved out a sonic identity no one else could replicate. Duane Eddy proved that a solo guitarist could command the stage without a lead vocalist. His impact was both musical and visual, and his approach inspired an entire generation to explore new instrumental possibilities in rock.
Walking through a party in the county jail. The prison band. Everybody listen up.
Elvis Presley exploded onto the scene in the mid-1950s with a mix of energy, charisma, and a voice that broke all conventions. His first recording for Sunday Records, That's All Right, was a turning point. Within months, he sparked an unprecedented wave of fan frenzy. His style blended blues, gospel, and country, creating a brand new way to deliver rock and roll. His onstage moves became part of his identity, drawing both admiration and controversy. Songs like Heartbreak Hotel and Hound Dog dominated the charts. But beyond the hits, Presley connected deeply with a generation craving something new. In just a few years, he became a symbol of rebellious youth and expressive freedom, proving that rock was more than music, was an attitude. Which Elvis song makes your foot tap without you even noticing? Drop it in the comments and let's see which one comes out on top.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
The Chordettes brought flawless vocal harmony to the rock and roll landscape of the 50s. Their sound was smoother and more melodic, but that didn't make it any less influential. In 1954, they released Mr. Sandman, a song that became an instant classic and a defining hit for an entire generation. The group stood out for their polished vocal arrangements and graceful stage presence. They weren't about loud guitars or hard-hitting rhythms, but they paved the way for female artists in popular music during that era. Their success was massive, both in the US and abroad. Mr. Sandman wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural touchstone, showing how the 50s soundscape could be soft yet powerful. The Chordettes proved that rock and roll could carry elegance without losing impact.
Well, that'll be the day when you say goodbye. Yes, that'll be the
Well, she's the center of attraction. The little girl looks so neat.
The Crickets were one of the foundational bands of 1950s rock and roll. Formed in 1957 in Lubbock, Texas, they were led by Buddy Holly, who handled lead vocals and guitar. The lineup also included Joe B. Malden on bass, Jerry Allison on drums, and Nicky Sullivan on rhythm guitar. From their debut hit That'll Be the Day, they introduced a crisp, youthful, high-energy sound that marked a turning point in music. Unlike many artists of the time who relied on studio musicians, the Crickets operated as a tight, creative unit. Buddy Holly wrote, played, and sang his own songs, which was rare back then. This blend of a consistent band and original songwriting helped reshape the traditional pop star model. Their music fused country, rockabilly, and rhythm and blues, producing a sound that was both accessible and innovative. Their impact went far beyond the charts. Their band format directly influenced what came next. In Liverpool, a group of teenagers listening to their records decided to mimic not just their sound, but their structure. That group became the Beatles. John Lennon and Paul McCartney later confirmed that they chose their band's name as a tribute to the Crickets, playing with the word Beatles and the musical beat echoing crickets. After Buddy Holly's tragic death in a 1,959 plane crash known as The Day the Music Died, the Crickets continued performing with various lineups. Jerry Allison and Joe B. Malden carried on the group's original spirit for decades. Did you already know about this connection between the Crickets and the Beatles? Tell us in the comments if it surprised you. Little Richard was pure energy from the very first chord. With hits like Tutti Frutti and Long Tall Sally, he brought rhythm and excitement to a level the world hadn't seen before. His raspy voice, frenzied piano, and intense delivery defined his explosive style. He didn't just sing roared. His stage presence was electric, effortlessly commanding attention. He was one of the first artists to break racial barriers in popular music, drawing mixed audiences when segregation was still the norm. Every performance was a statement of what rock could truly be. Little Richard didn't just leave behind a catalog of unforgettable songs, she set the standard for unleashed, high-octane performance. His legacy is among the most powerful of the decade, both musically and culturally. Bo Diddley was a rhythm architect in the world of rock and roll. His signature Bo Diddley beat brought a fresh cadence to the genre. From his debut single, Bo Diddley, in 1955, it was clear he sounded like no one else. His guitar playing was almost hypnotic. He used open chords, effects, and unconventional techniques, making each performance a unique experience. He even designed his own rectangular guitars, reinforcing his identity as an innovator both musically and visually. Bo Diddley's true importance lay in his ability to break structures. He didn't just change how music sounded, he opened doors to future genre fusions that would shape styles like funk and hip-hop decades later.
and it makes a fiery ring. The ring of fire.
Johnny Cash stood out with his deep voice and unmistakable style. Though often linked with country music, his impact on 1950s rock and roll was undeniable. With Folsom Prison Blues in 1955, he began building a career grounded in raw, personal storytelling. Cash didn't just sing told stories. His lyrics tackled everyday life with a sincerity and grit few dared to show. His choppy, direct guitar rhythm became a core part of his musical identity. Throughout the 50s, he established himself as a singular figure in the evolving soundscape. His presence on stage and television took his influence far beyond music. He was one of the rare artists who remained relevant across genres without ever losing authenticity.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.
Bill Haley and his Comets were the ones who brought rock and roll to a mass audience. In 1954, they released Rock Around the Clock, a song that not only topped the charts, but also sparked a global youth phenomenon around this bold new sound. Its inclusion in the film Blackboard Jungle the following year amplified its cultural impact. Before diving into rock and roll, Bill Haley came from a background in country and Western swing, a foundation that shaped the band's rhythmic style. They blended electric guitars, upright bass, and saxophone with constant energy. He wasn't the first to play rock, but he was the first to turn it into an international sensation. Rock Around the Clock sold millions and played in every corner of the world. Through a mix of musical technique, commercial strategy, and onstage presence, Bill Haley and his Comets paved the way for everything that followed. Their legacy doesn't rest on the number of hits, but on the fact that they were the spark that lit the cultural movement that defined the youth of the 1950s. What they did wasn't just play music, it was blazing a trail. Every chord, every fresh rhythm, every performance that broke the rules was like a push forward, inspiring others to create. Many of them never even lived to see the true impact their songs would have, but they're etched in history, making a difference. Now it's your turn. Which of these legends stands out most to you? Is there a name you think absolutely should have made the list? I'd love to hear from you in the comment. And if you enjoyed this trip through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a beat. See you in the next video, because the music, it never dies.